Hello guys, Charles here and welcome back to my channel. So this is a follow-up video to the superimposed hybrid scales video that we did a few videos ago now. Now I said towards the end of that video that most of the examples when you use a tritone end up being based in the diminished scale. So a lot of the previous examples ended up just being variations of the diminished scale itself. I want to show you today how, by using a different set of superimposed harmony, we can create some slightly different sounds. But again, there's going to be some diminished sounds in here as well. That's just kind of one of the most common symmetrical scales, so it pops up a lot. So today we're going to use one of the more advanced superimpositions, which is superimposing the Coltrane Changes. And today we're going to look at it over a 2-5-1. So do make sure you've seen the previous video. But just to quickly recap, all we're doing is playing the notes of the written chord and the notes of the superimposed chord, simultaneously squashing them into the space of an octave and calling that a hybrid scale. So sometimes they'll have notes in common, other times, of course, two chords will have unique notes, which is what makes them different, and we make sure we're playing all of those notes. The point of this is it means that the scale we're playing represents both the original chord and the superimposed chord simultaneously, which creates quite a cohesive sound where it really sounds like you're nailing the changes. So we're going to look at a couple of more of those today. So we're going to look at the Coltrane Changes here. We're going to do this as a superimposition over a 2-5-1 in E flat major. So we're assuming that we're looking at a chart that says F minor 7, B flat 7, E flat major 7. So those are our original chords. The Coltrane Changes that we superimpose, and this is one of the examples from the Dave Liebman book, B major 7, D 7, G major 7, B flat 7, and E flat major 7. So the last two chords are the same. Now in terms of the timing, the B major 7 is over F minor 7, the D 7 is also over that F minor 7. The G major 7 is over the B flat 7 from the 2-5-1. Then there's a B flat 7 in the Coltrane Changes that's still over the B flat 7 from the 2-5-1. And then they both resolve to E flat major at the same time. So what we're going to end up with is a hybrid scale that represents B major 7 over F minor 7, D 7 over F minor 7, G major 7 over B flat 7, and then we're into just B flat 7 over B flat 7 and E flat major over E flat major. So we'll not do the last two chords, but we've got three interesting sounds to explore here. B major 7 over F minor 7, D 7 over F minor 7, and finally G major 7 over B flat 7. So let's dive straight into those. So our very first one, these are both going to be over F minor 7. So the notes of an F minor 7 chord, as we know, are F, A flat, C, and E flat. So all I'm looking for is the notes of a B major 7, superimposing them over that. So a B major 7 is B, D sharp or E flat, F sharp, and A sharp. So let's put them in order, and for today I'm going to start on the root of the superimposed chord. So I'm going to actually start this on B. I find it's a bit more effective when you are really trying to outline the Coltrane Changes that you try and get them relative to the Coltrane Changes rather than relative to the 2-5-1. So this is going to be B from B major 7. It's going to be C from F minor 7. It's going to be D sharp or E flat from both. It's going to be F from F minor 7. It's going to be F sharp from B major 7. It's going to be A flat from F minor 7. It's going to be A sharp from B major 7. And then we're back to B. So we get this series of notes. It's a really slippery sort of sound, that. So we could analyse that in terms of thinking about every degree of the scale, but the whole point of this exercise is to avoid having to do that. So you could say, oh, that's got a flat 9 in it, and it's got both fifths, and it's got the major 7, all this sort of stuff. But all we're trying to do is think, I'm playing B major 7 and I'm playing F minor 7. Getting used to that way of thinking where we're just worrying about chord tones, trying to move away from thinking too much about scales. So the next one is D7 over F minor 7. So again, we know F minor 7 is F, A flat, C and E flat. D7 is D, F sharp, A, and C. So they've both got a C in them. So the notes that gives us is D from D7, D sharp or E flat from F minor 7, F from F minor 7, F sharp from D7, A flat from F minor 7, A natural from D7, C from both, and then we're back to D again. So the notes sound like this. Now again, that one is just very similar to the diminished scale. The reason for that is that D and F are a minor third apart. So generally when we're going around that family of four we've talked about in previous videos, minor third up, tritone, and minor third down, you're going to be, for most chord types, just outlining the diminished scale. So the final one to look at here is, we've moved to a B flat 7 chord now in terms of the 2-5-1. And in terms of the Coltrane changes, we've done B major 7, D7, so we're now on G major 7. So this is G major 7 over B flat 7 in terms of the 2-5-1. So here, B flat 7 is B flat, D, F, and A flat. And G major 7 is G, B, D, F sharp. So when we put these into octave, we've got G from the G major 7, got A flat from the B flat 7, we've got B flat from the B flat 7, we've got B from G major 7, we've got D from both, we've got F from B flat 7, we've got F sharp from G major 7, and we're back to G. So that scale sounds like this. So that's kind of like the altered scale, and it's got the major 7 and the flat 7 in it. It's kind of like the bebop scale. It's got all sorts going on in that sound. But again, it's just the two chords squashed together. Now at the end of the day, we've only got 12 notes to choose from. But rather than jumping to a pre-learned scale type where we know this chord, we use this scale, think a little bit deeper about exactly which notes you want to target, and maybe at least prioritize those within the scale that you've chosen. Just to recap the point of this exercise, we are exclusively using the notes of the superimposed harmony and the original harmony. So we're really nailing those changes, which is what we're getting at here. There's no extraneous notes, nothing surplus to requirement. We're just using exactly what we need and nothing more. So I hope you liked those further examples. If you did, please do give this video a like, subscribe, ding that notification bell, and share with any of your friends who you think might find this useful. And as always, I hope you're all doing very well, getting plenty of practice in, and I very much look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers!
Roll up, let me embed a story you'll never forget. A drip, drip, but drowning in debt now. You can't buy your way out, and I heard you find it difficult to cope.